On a more passive note, did you notice how like you're twirling a lot more now to enforce this space, and it's working because I haven't really like fully adapted yet?
So part of it is enforcing the space, but one of the things that I've started doing from watching other Anjis is when they play against a very passive opponent, they'll actually open the round with Fujin because it will cover any like hold back or up back situations where it now enforces that even if they have to go into Nagiha to get the safe low and just end their pressure there, should their opponent pick something or just give up that free space, it is just free space for them to take. So if I threaten with the twirl, you don't have to think, is he just taking the space or is there a Fujin coming at the end of this? I see the exclamation points.
Yeah, because it's -7. It is punishable. But yeah, I was saying, no, I get this thinking. I just wanted to include something else that you're missing on. Remember when we started, I said against horizontally moving opponents that like to poke a lot, take the jump back into a button, like experiment with that. If you pair this with the twirling, suddenly your neutral steps up quite a bit. Because I don't know, like, am I gonna be jumped on if I try and dolphin from here, or am I gonna be twirled on and absorbed and then punished, right? So it makes me think way more of what to do. Also, if I am considering this, most likely I'll be less active with dolphins, which means that I'm gonna let go of my charge, which most likely means that I'm moving forward a little bit more. So that's how the dynamic changes, and that's where you can start maybe full range Fujining or poking from afar, or I don't know, even using mirror to slow me down if I throw buttons to try and poke you without the dolphin. So things like that, right?
Okay, so to follow up on that, taking space and then jumping back with a button, would I want to instant air dash backwards with the button? Well, I guess you can't really...
It depends.
The air dash backwards isn't as good as the air dash forward, so it's not as... I guess that kind of answers itself. Yeah.
It depends on the buttons that you have. It's also like with dedicated buttons, it's much easier. When I do it with Mei, jumping HS helps a ton because it's just a giant hitbox that comes down, and my hurtbox is like here or something, right? If I do it with 2JHS, it's a giant anchor, and I'm here. So, like, it depends on the buttons you have. You would have to experiment with that. That's why I said to you, let's experiment with that. Let's not just do it, right? Because if I tell you do that and then you don't have a button to air to ground me, it doesn't work.
Right.
That's when I start running it a little bit more in neutral. Unfortunately, I messed up because I went with the heavy dolphin. That would have been a with punish.
You don't bait the burst here, I just sort of take the death.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That is one thing that you can take. Like, it's up to you how you want to use your burst. I am a very, very early buster, which doesn't please my partner. No, I'm joking. But if you burst early, then you will have a lot of time to build it back. So there's also that. Or if you burst late, that will give you one more chance at life in a situation maybe where life lead is fairly close, like life differential is fairly close. So it depends.
So let's actually pause here if we could. This was one of the notes that I actually wrote down, and I was going to ask you about it later, but I think this is a good time to ask because it's like very prevalent. When I watch, I don't know how to pronounce his name, and I'm very sorry if he ends up watching this. And I think it's Zogere.
Zogere. I think Zogere is the pronunciation. Yeah.
I noticed that he will open a lot of rounds with Ko, and to some degree it makes sense. It's a monstrous hitbox if they try to jump in at you. If they jump back, it will generally catch their hurt box. Depends on the character. And if it whiffs, you can either backdash or air dash through them and kind of just say, hey, you know, I picked a round start option. I'm now in the corner because I had to take the L on it because I chose the wrong option. Whereas sometimes I do it, and characters, they just mollywop me for it. And I would even watch him, and sometimes he would get mollywopped for it. And I think he was against Remlethal, and he did it, and like 3 rounds in a row, he just got air grabbed out of it.
Yeah,
so
because it takes a lot of animation. Yeah, so to go on.
I kind of just wanted your thoughts on that as a round opener. Like, obviously, you know, everything in moderation, you don't want to do the same round opener every time. But just on a basic, bare bones level, your thoughts on it as a round opener.
It's not a bad idea because, as far as I remember, you can cancel it from the twirl. Is that correct?
Right. You can. So, the auto guard, the way that it is when you, like, if you pick Ko or Fujin, if you hold the button, you get the auto guard startup, which is where he does the twirl. So, for him to get the twirl, he would have to be committed to the Ko anyways. So he could do it off of that, but most of the time he just taps it so that he just immediately goes into the air.
Honestly, as a purely, you know, theoretical sort of sterile level, I would say that the twirl is actually better as a round starter because there would be a madman, right, in the jungle that is online or in the jungle that is player styles.
The 10th floor.
Yeah, that will basically run in and throw you, right?
Sure.
But unless they know your habit, who the fuck is gonna do that, right? Usually the round starters are things like 6Ps if they're expecting a button, slide or something long if they're expecting to walk back, maybe jump back to remove themselves from a situation. Who the fuck is gonna run in and try and throw you? So the only thing that I want to point out is that if you do the twirl into the name escapes me, but the DP one that we're talking about, right? It's blockable in the air. So you do get the space, absolutely, but it's not like every time they jump back they will be caught, right?
Right.
Yeah, so just wanted to point that out. I don't think it's a bad option as an opener at all. You're taking a risk, but it's a calculated risk. However, I am taking the risk against anyone. Am I taking it against a Potemkin? Fuck no. Fuck no. It just opens with a pot buster and I'm already like 45% down. So, you know, it's all like that. But yeah, no, I would say it's a decent sort of wild card start option if you don't know your opponent habits. It's fairly safe on a theoretical level.
Sure.
So yeah. This is very, very minor, but if you react to a whiff dolphin, up dolphin, that just sort of goes over your head, I want to say 2HS is the one where he sort of enlarges the fans at the floor, right?
The big chop down or the one where he hits on both sides?
Both sides.
That would be 2S.
Oh, 2S. So do 2S. Because not only have I whiffed, most likely am I walking back, and also in low profiles, right? Because it puts him down. So it should be a decent option, and also you can cancel it to stuff. So
sure.
I would use that over 2P, mostly for the range as well.
Right.
There, that is a big punish. Like we'll lap that, but you need to take that punish all the time. I am not like super knowledgeable on Anji, but could you have taken the butterfly rather than the Fujin conversion there?
I could have, but I'm not very comfortable with using 2K2D as a pressure tool yet, so I just kind of gatling down whatever first came to muscle memory, and that was just what happened to come out.
That's fine, that's fine. It just in that situation, if you want to sort of work on that, the butterfly would push me back, put me in you were close enough for a hair tie Fujin. So aside from this coming into play, everything else until the Fujin hits and I think the top butterfly hits, especially with me without meter, is sort of like guaranteed. So just take it for the pushback and for the chip and so on. Okay, on the sort of neutral aspect, I want you to understand one thing. If I am backdashing a lot, if I am jumping back into air backdashing a lot, my low will be what's it called? Basically, will be I'll be able to be hit it low, right? So your 2K 2D is an alright option, especially because I haven't been punishing them much, right? I'm struggling with that. So a run in 2K 2D when you see me go back is not a bad idea. The only thing that you have to be scared of is the dolphin, but kind of have to take that deal, because on 2K 2D you get the butterfly, so it's a pretty big one, right?
Right.
There it is.
Danger.
That was just classic case of whiff punish.
Yeah, I was so confused by the twirling and the dashing. I still have to like get used to it. I was playing Stream Puff yesterday, which is a really good Milia, and she has a double jump and like a double air dash, which is so confusing. Okay.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Okay, yeah, I was too early with that. Not delay enough. Back throw. Didn't wait enough, so. Oh, yeah, one thing. Of course. The Sea Lion Ball, right?
Right.
That takes 48 frames to start. Now, he isn't the character with the best forward movement, but running Fujin should work on reaction, right? And if I get hit, the ball actually disappears. It's not, as far as I know, it's not like in beta anymore, right? Where the ball will hit. We will test it. Actually, we'll test that. But I'm pretty sure the ball disappears, or there is a way for the Fujin to basically destroy the ball because it's this big like option, like big hitbox. But let me check. Does make ball disappear post? Okay. Also, you might not have the biggest forward movement, like fastest forward movement, but if you do have meter, please super with the fan super every time, because I really shouldn't be doing that. That's why I'm taking a lot of space as well, because you block that and then I get frame advantage. One thing that I'm thinking, right? See how you whiff the Fujin from the far K on the juggle?
Right.
If you find it hard, since I'm still juggled anyway and I'm going to recover on the ground, why not do 5K into the butterfly? I have to recover anyway, right? So it's not like there's any risk, and the butterfly most likely will travel forward, meaty me, and then give you space to come in. It's something that you haven't practiced for sure, but just keep it in mind. Maybe we can see if there's any problem with that.
Well, I can actually bring this back to when I was learning this character. I talked to a couple Anji mains, and they said that generally butterfly is best used when you get like a hard knockdown, like a 2D, the Fujin low. I guess in theory, like a wall break. Well, the wall break you don't really have great positioning for it, so by the time it gets to them, they can just get out of it.
Yeah, of course.
But things like that, like Ko in the corner, the big DP move, like those are good times to get butterfly. So like I don't associate it with soft knockdowns like that, where I just get the 5K and you just sort of trip up on the ground. But because we were in the corner, I guess it would have been fine. Yeah, that's a weird interaction. Yeah,
and there is a big difference between soft knockdowns. Soft knockdowns here and soft knockdowns here, right? it's like on the ground, absolutely, because it's very, very slow, right? If it's a soft knockdown, most likely you'll be punished, depending on the options that the character has. But if you're juggling into a force recovery, this is not like, I don't know, plus R or older Guilty Gears, where when you juggle, you sort of can recover sometimes in the air and just soar over it and punish it. There's nothing like that. So you're still forced to take all that. I'm pretty sure that when we look at it in training mode, it will be a decent option. Of course, if you can take the Fujin into the hair, sure. But if you're in a situation where, like that, it didn't seem to hit, or maybe you had to delay more, that could be something to explore. So, butterfly into... 5k juggle into butterfly. Check. Okay, let's go on. Yeah, this is when I started up. Good one. Okay. I still see you right now, right? I think this is a bit of something to be talking about. I see you very passive here with all this meter tension. If you are able to enforce your game, whether offensively by using PRC, Blue RC, and so on, right? Or defensively by slowing my approach down with BRC, start using the meter. Like enforce. There's a big momentum shift every time characters have meter in this game.
Okay. Because this is the first game that I've played with a Roman cancel mechanic like this, so this is all very foreign to me. Like things like neutral concepts and all of that, that can be carried over from various games. Like how a Roman cancel works and like Roman cancel dashes, quick RCs, like all of that's very foreign. So that's going to take. It's just going to take longer to work.
Yeah, for sure. No worries. Just wanted to stress out that I am like giving you knowledge as I have it. I am aware that like a lot of things that you'll need to work on. So please don't feel like pressured or anything. I'm just saying this will be here for you to watch. So then maybe you can go back and say, oh, this is something that I could be working on. It doesn't matter if it takes you 2 months, 3 months, 6 months to get familiar with the concept. I'm just, putting it there. For example, no, because you're not in range, but if you're like at mid-range here, and I do ball, and you're like afraid, just run in and BRC, and then punish me for it. That's another option that could be working, depending on range. Yeah. Oh, unfortunate. Yeah, that's good to take the throw. Side recover.
So the overhead there, that's never a true follow-up. But I thought that because I had hit you previously with it as a like standing as a what's it called, standing reset, I guess. I guess I just sort of instinctively went for it again because it's like, well, I haven't been punished for it yet. I can try to get away with it until he gives me an answer.
No, this was fine and it could have worked, so nothing to fear here. The only question I want to ask you, because of course you play the character mode, can you kill from that standing reset?
From that standing reset,
without meter, because you don't have meter right now.
We're about mid-stage, right? I don't. And
there's also guts kicking in. There's also guts kicking in.
So I also don't know how that mechanic works, but I will.
We can talk
I'll
about
ask that after. Okay. So from there, it would most likely be the overhead would hit you. I would do the standing 5K into another Fujin. The follow-up from that Fujin will never hit. Because it's just too far away. But if I do the jump in after the Fujin, where he just sort of like hops forward, I can get in with like meaty close slash. But that sort of plays into you have meter, you have the reversal super.
Yeah, that's what I was going for. Because I can definitely kill you from here. Like if I smell, like even if I was like, okay, I take all of what you said in consideration, right? Say that I'm more aware of Angie's options and damage and corner carry, all of this stuff. I'm like, you know what? I'm spinning the wheel. Because worst case scenario, right? say the stuff doesn't come out and I get punished, I still probably will not die. Best case scenario, I win the round. And this is like something that I would not get back anyway, second round. So it's not like I'm wasting it. It's a bit complicated, but that's fine. It's not a big deal. The only thing that I'm saying is, on hit, I would take the hard knock. Well, not hard knockdown, soft knockdown, the blue stuff, right? The low.
Right.
It's okay. You didn't react to that. Good one. That was 6p. That was a good choice.
Danger.
Okay. You might want to practice against that, because to me 6k is a bit weird to space. So if that 6k whiffs, you must be ready to punish it. I'll show you the ranges in training mode. Yeah, and that's the trip I was talking about. Because you have pressed the button anyway. It's not like you did the special where you can dash, right? At that point you were like checkmate. Yeah, post drill, I want to see more throws. Much easier to convert. And you died with a lot of FD-able meter, like meter that you could have used for FD.
Right.
May wins.
Return to this list.
And then this should be the last replay, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Mankind knew that they cannot change society. So instead of reflect,
They played the beasts.
let's rock.
That was sick. See, even like without committing to, you know, the blocks, the block string, the mix-up, anything, look at where we are already on the screen, just by enforcing the butterfly. Even without like going for the Fujin, going for the follow-up, any mix-up, we're in the corner.
We're now out of the corner, but that's...
Yeah, it's okay, but I hit you with the 5k. Like, not challenging there is actually smart, because it's not -5 anymore, it's probably plus.
Right.
Even in situations like when it's very passive, like before this interaction, we were all like here, and you were here, you walk back a lot. And I understand it because I do it myself a lot as well. That's why I'm not here, you know. But walk forward, even if it's small step, build this meter. Build this meter. It's useful. Like in neutral, you will be able to punish Sea Lion Ball on reaction with super by just running in and doing it. So yeah, let's go on. There we go. And look what you get from throw. It's not bad, right?
So let's actually pause that real quick. So that was a setup that I was like, I'm just going to try this because it's like a Twitter tag combo that I've seen where after the throw and throwing the butterfly out, you just RC shift forward with a twirl because it's like, well, if you wake up and do your DP, I twirl through the DP. If you don't pick an option, the butterfly hits you, and then I can continue my pressure like with a close slash. And so, I guess trying to find how I kind of mix up my pressure from that close slash will be sort of the next step of making that mix up better. But
okay, we can
as far as that setup, what are your kind of thoughts on it?
I think it could be good. But you're fighting somebody that is incredibly lame and incredibly scared when he plays. In a good way. Meaning, I don't do stupid shit much, right? Against another opponent, it might work because they might press a button or, as you were saying, maybe reversal and you can block it, whatever is going on there. What I can tell you about the way I saw this mix-up right now is that it's bottlenecked. There is no mix-up whatsoever. It's only working if your opponent presses a button, right? Which is not kind of the way you want a mix-up. You want a true high or a true low, or a tick into grab, right, if you're a grappler, or you want a tick into standing overhead, right, 5D.
Right.
So if you were to improve the mix-up, I would be telling you, right, you just landed the butterfly, you PRC'd, so you are close, you're covered by the butterflies, you probably have a frame advantage, and it's not a true block string, but if I press the buttons, most likely will be counter hit, right, because you're trying to sort of put the fear in me. The routes are always the same. Low, right, 2K, 2D, to try and fish for our knockdown. Delayed throw, because if you're enforcing frame advantage, it means that I am already out of block stance, so you can throw. Or what you can do that would be really, really strong there is as soon as you cover butterfly and you PRC forward, try a 5D, like charge 5D for the dust, because there is a standing overhead that is fairly slow, but I'm covered by the butterfly. So I don't even know, can you block the butterfly low? Because if the butterfly is an overhead, that also makes it even stronger. I think the butterfly is an overhead, but
it's just a mid.
Oh, just a mid. Okay. Well,
I believe both parts are a mid.
Try the 5D. Like I would cycle through these options, really, because all of them will give you an incredible reward. Throw will make you, I think, go into another butterfly.
Yep.
2K to D will make you go into another butterfly, right? In the corner, like at the moment we're in the corner, and 5D will give you like incredible reward.
Yeah,
So, one question that I want to ask you, knowing all of this, right? In this specific situation, look at the screen. Which option you would have chosen, and why?
So from this position right here, or from the position
right here? Like, well, the even if it's like whether it's sorry, I'm gonna put some more lines on the thing here.
Sure.
Whether it's here or there, kind of doesn't matter that much, right? It's more about other stuff that I want you to assess. So, which position you would have chosen, why? If you don't know, that's fine. Like, nothing wrong.
Okay, so from here, assuming I'm picking one of these three options, is this my position after the purple RC or before the RC and the dash that comes with it?
After the purple RC, assuming that the butterfly is sort of bamboozle your opponent, and they're just sort of gonna stand there and take the mix-up, right? They're not reversaling. Let's assume they're not reversaling.
Sure. So from here, my only ways to make it like a true block string or sort of enforce that pressure further while keeping myself relatively safe would either be like a micro step forward into 2D or Fujin, because both of those would be airtight. Ideally, if you can get up into the range to 2K 2D, that's double low, and then that gives the butterfly time to come down for the second hit. But from this range specifically, just because it's muscle memory, I would probably just Fujin, but that doesn't give me a real mix-up. So if we're picking from these three options, and assuming the RC is already done with, I would probably say just like step forward a little bit 2D. However, going back to that mix-up, the RC drift will put you in front of the butterfly, so it's not at the opponent yet. So I would have to twirl at them first. Which the twirl is covered by the butterfly behind me because they can't wake up and throw me from where they are. So the twirl would get me in range to really pick any of the options. And so the main one I want to get better at is 2K 2D because I've been messing up the throw timing. So it would probably be either a 2K 2D or I might, like bad habit, like mentally go into a Fujin anyway.
Okay, that's fine.
Or a close slash, because that's what I picked there.
Okay, that's fine. So that is actually like one of the things I would go for. Probably the two things that I would go for are 1 and 2. Do you know why I wouldn't go for this?
Because that's something you have to condition your opponent to not be ready for.
No, not really. It's fairly tight. It's fairly hard. It's not slow because they're gonna be conditioned by the butterfly and you twirling at them. So most likely they don't want to press a button because they're outside of range for throw, as you said. This is why. Because you get into a situation, right, where you have to bait that and you have to convert. So if you do know that your bait and your conversion is absolutely on point, and you're like, okay, I can do it, sure. But you're already taking, I guess, the Sora you don't have to take with these two, because you sort of keep them airtight. This is 2 frames. They're fairly safe. If you fuck it up, right, in one interaction, you have lost the corner control, because you're gonna be in neutral, right? And you've lost all of these sort of outcomes, because if you hit 2K 2D, there will be another butterfly. If you hit throw, there will be another butterfly. If you hit 5D, you kill if you convert, right? So it's a big thing. But if the burst goes if they burst right, you're back into neutral. All of this advantage positioning has disappeared. So that's why I was like, it's getting really complex, but that's the way I think, and that's also the way your opponent may think. Take the standing overhead and play the burst game after, rather than being knocked down and being forced into this burst being a little bit harder.
And then there's always, another way to add another layer to this mental stack of, oh, does he 5D me? We go into the aerial cinematic, and then he baits my burst like you did to me the first game. But that's just another layer that I think we need to particularly look at right this second with
no, not right this second. Once again, it's always like to understand how your opponent also may think. It's like, oh, I got burst, take the 5D.
But it is a consideration to be made.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's also an option to beat the ball. Fairly fast, advances fast. Okay.
I think I was trying to blue RC and drift at you to make the blue RC hit you, and I think I just sort of scuffed the timing on the dash. That I don't really know what that was about, to be perfectly honest. I think that might have been a fat finger. That might have been. I was thinking that it was a different button. I could not tell you.
Sometimes I do it too, to be honest. Like trying to enforce a burst, it was just a little bit too expensive here. That is fine.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. There, right in that specific scenario, 2K to D is the way to go rather than jab, because it's a double low,
or
right?
rather than Fujin in general.
Yeah, or doing like 2K into Fujin, keeping the pressure tight or whatever. Just because it's a low, 2P is not a low. One thing that you're not using at all, even if it's just to close the match, is uncharged 5D. Right? Try it, because especially after the RRC, look, I'm just always crouch blocking. And you don't really have like other standing overheads aside from the Fujin follow-ups, or am I wrong there?
No, I think 5D is my standing overhead.
Okay, yeah. So remember there is an option. Let's go.
And there, my option, I picked kind of a mid-range option, and it got beaten out by the Dolphin startup, which is fine. At least I picked something different to see how it would end.
Yeah, of course. Ouch.
I mean, this is just going to hurt, yeah.
You have meter. Yeah, okay. At least you didn't die with meter. I respect that.
I figure at the lower health, it's better to use it for the YRC to give myself more chances.
Yeah.
And then there you just want to grab it.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay.
Use it as like a pseudo burst.
That's fine. Okay, let's go into training mode and see some notes. Like work on some notes.
And then, do you want me to just pull up the general notes that I've made of from watching various things, or do you want
We'll do
to
that.
go into the? Okay.
Yeah, we'll separate that from when we look at VODs. So at the moment, let's
Sure.
look at your personal stuff, and then from the VODs, we can, like, before we check the VODs, we can look at that, or
Okay.
while we check the VODs. So offline dojo training mode. So what we're looking at. Double check if all pro supers will break. This is not something that we can do right now. It's probably something that I have to like investigate and ask people and so on.
Right.
But
That's
we can just check you know, a couple of them and see what happens near the wall.
I'm also starting up training mode. That way, I can practice things in my own way.
Yeah, that's fine. Oh, he's in block. Wall breaks. The other one would be a little bit weird because I don't know if the wheel reaches to here. Maybe it does. Yeah, wall breaks. Sorry. List. Wrong one. Wall breaks. Oh, this is the. I have to. I mean, we've seen it that it will break. It will broke with you, but yeah, it's a safe assumption to say that all of them will break. I'll check with you know, with forums and discords and things like that.
Sure.
Maybe the throws may not will break. Things such as like Heavenly Potemkin Buster. I don't think there's any, you know, business in that wall breaking. But aside from that, any hit most likely will wall break.
Sure.
Check 2P, 5P, 6P challenges on 5K into Dolphin. Okay, we have to swap the side here. So I'll pick Angie and we'll pick May as the, what's it called, dummy?
May.
And then, how much of the opponent's health bar would you say is good for, like, let's say I start implementing dust, like just standing overhead dust. When you get the actual like cinematic launcher, how much of their health bar should you in general be taking with that?
It's different for every character. So I would have to see your, say, well, not your personally, but like Angie's optimized conversion and tell you. Like, I know for May is incredibly big. Like, I can show you now if I don't fuck it up. Ah, sick. Why am I failing? But it's like literally like 60 or 70%. I'm not kidding. It's stupid. Not coming out. But yeah, for her is a lot. I don't know about Angie, but you want to optimize for sure, especially if they don't have dust. Well, whatever. Sorry, I'll send it to you. I'm not great at execution right now.
Sure.
So, yeah, let's check the stuff that we wanted to check. So, the challenges. I think that is more or less the max range. Yeah, that seems true. be honest. Oh, maybe from the far S then, which is something that I do much less, to be honest. Sorry, my bad. Nope. Right, stuff like that. I think that is a gap. I've seen this like being jumped or being punched. I'm not sure why it's not working now. Maybe it's between the... No, it's only the slow one then. Hold on. Right. A bit too early. Right. So yeah, stuff like that. Or if you're really feeling frisky.
Sure.
Yeah, but it's only from the slow one, unfortunately, not from the medium one. Check Kai super party interaction. We do that in the VODs, right? Because it's something we were looking at the VODs for the super party. Check slide punishes. Okay, so it will tell me when it's punished, right? Yeah, there you go. So even at that range, which seems like fairly far, you can punish, right? Not probably specifically max range. Let me look at your frame data, like your character frame data though. So energy. GGST. Angie. So, what's your 2K? 2K starts in 7, so maybe even that. Yeah, because this starts in 12, so you might have a punish almost everywhere if the range helps you. Oh, not that like specific range. What's 2D? 1 sec. 10. So most likely you will have a punish anyway. Ah, that's... Ah, come on. It really works. Maybe not like absolutely max range, because there is like some pushback going on. Oh, there. So you see, you can punish this. So this is something that I would recommend working on. So like 2K at 7, 2D at 10, 2S at 12, depending on, you know, how close she is. If you see something like this, most likely you want to take 2D, because it would be risky to go for this because it doesn't have range, and this because it starts too slow. So yeah, I would recommend doing that, because slide is really good, especially when she has meter, because she can make it safe. Can you build meter in super animations? So, God settings. Auto regenerate? No, normal. Let me see. 5 ways to meter now. Okay, so we have to cause a positive, right? Oh, she's blocking. Sorry, my bad. No guard. I'm not sure how to close a card break with him.
Just like a wall break?
Yeah. Okay, there.
Oh, that works.
So now we're in positive, right? So if I do... Might be hard, but... No, see? It was like absolutely not there. Unless I moved it to auto regenerate by mistake. No, it's on normal. Tension gauge. Okay, let me try this again. I don't want to use the super, that's the thing. Okay, there. Let's try this again. Oh, it killed, but I didn't see any meter build during the animation.
I didn't see it.
So most likely no. Does Mayball disappear post hit? We're gonna look at that. Too far. Yeah. At least like I wonder if I hit her low with the 2D, but I believe it does. Yeah, see, it breaks. Even though my hitbox is nowhere near. They changed it from the beta.
Okay.
Check super parry. 5k juggle into butterfly check. Yes, so this will be easier for you to practice because I have no idea how to check her. But we can just do something simple with counter hit, opponent state, jumping, right? Without having to go into the full juggle. Like
one way. Oh, I was gonna say one way that you could set this up is set the opponent to block only the first hit, and then just do Fujin overhead. They'll get hit by the overhead. I think they'll get hit by the overhead. I don't know how block only first hit works.
No,
because it's not like a hit string or something. Okay.
I mean, I'll try it. So you were saying block setting, guard after first hit, right?
No, guard only first hit.
Only first hit. This one, and then from crouching.
That works, yeah.
Okay, so.
And then just do Fujin and then heavy slash after.
Yeah, like what they're gonna do, you know what I mean? Like, of course, on I don't know whatever soft knockdown option he has here, but if you do it from there, like when it, especially when it carries it to the bottom. Sorry, my bad. Like even if I set it to reversal after being hit, most likely not even the Orca will punish you there. Should be like super safe. Let me remember how to do that. Counter attack setting, yeah. After hit.
After recovery, I think.
Well, but yeah, that's the thing. If she gets hit by the heavy, she's juggleable. So it doesn't matter. Like, well, we try both, so it doesn't really matter. Psych burst, Roman cancel. What's it? Oh, general movement, standing, crouching, aerial, special attacks. This one, and we'll do it there too, just to be sure. Okay. Let's see if that works. Even at that range, I was safe. You know what I mean? So it should be really, really good. Sorry, my bad. I don't know, like if some other characters will have faster punishes. Sorry, faster reversals, right? But you can just base it to just be absolutely out of it, right?
Right.
So yeah, I think it's a good option. Okay, I'm going to 5k juggle into butterfly check. Yeah, that was the last one. I'm going to stop the recording.